Hi, my name is Avery Campbell, and this is my senior big board. So, to begin, a little bit about me. My name is Avery Campbell. I'm a senior here at Home High School, just like everyone else presenting today, and I've been in the Flex program for 4 years. I am a varsity athlete. I play softball, and I'm just a regular young lady. I don't hate men. I don't burn bras. I don't scream about the patriarchy. I don't blame people. I just want a better world for women. This is important to remember because we can all be feminists if we just drop the stereotype that comes with feminism. So, young ladies, feminism is promoting a better world for you to live in. Something that is not only positive for you, but positive for those around you and for future generations. Young men, everyone else in the room. How many of you know women? A woman, any woman? Oh, all of you? Awesome, great. How many of you care about a woman? Oh, all of you, crazy, mind blow. Um, this is why you shouldn't be a feminist, because you care about other women. You want them to be happy and have nice lives and everything be better. I mean, everyone wants a better world, right? Equality has no downsides. Promoting women has no downsides. It's not taking away from men. It's just about evening the playing field. So to begin, we're going to be talking about education and the importance of education. Not only is education important for all young people, it's specifically important for young women because if you think about it, there was a time when women were not educated and did not work. That's when you're only using half of your population to sustain all of your population, which is just ridiculous. The more people you have working, the more people you have putting creative minds together, the better your world will be. Nothing can, economically speaking, there's no downside to having more people working. So education is very important because it allows women to get better jobs, to push themselves forward, and also become the people that they're meant to be. I had the really great opportunity with speaking with some of the women from the Birmingham chapter of the AAUW, or American Association of University Women, which specifically focuses on the education of young women. That's through scholarships, fundraising, benefit events. They do a lot of different things to help young women better their education more easily and also, just better because women and men just learn differently. We think differently. We have different needs. So accommodating those needs is very important for young women, whether that be opening opportunities in STEM programs that are mostly male-dominated, making that a more comfortable environment for them to learn in, to even such things as separate sex education, because boys and girls learn differently. You have to specify, what is really going to help them. Our next topic we're going to be talking about is body image and clothing choice. So this is so important because, you start off with everyone kind of looks the same, little boys and little girls, they have the same articles of clothing, they look the same, they have similar cute little haircuts, and then puberty happens. And, I can speak from personal experience, I've gone through puberty, and I actually hit puberty pretty young. And, while the boys were changing, they weren't changing quite the same way that I was. I'll give you an example of this. I had a favorite t-shirt. I loved this t-shirt. It was everything it meant everything to me. It was just my favorite. I loved wearing it, felt good wearing it. And there reached a point during puberty that while the shirt hadn't changed and me as a person, as a human being hadn't changed, I was still the same Avery, I still had the same morals, but it became inappropriate and wrong for me to wear my favorite t-shirt because it fit me differently. Now, of course, you grow out of things, and that's not something to complain about, but it was the message behind it, the way it was phrased to me, that I could no longer wear this shirt because it was inappropriate, because it was wrong for me to show what I was showing of my body. Now, my body is natural. I don't have any weird genetic mutations as far as I know. Everything grew in the way it was supposed to. And this is the image of a healthy 18-year-old young woman. And yet, I'm constantly told that if my shirt is too low, if my shoulders are showing, if my stomach is showing, if my shorts are too short, that is inappropriate and wrong. Now, what's inappropriate about something that is natural? What's something that's meant to be? It's not something that I can help. I can't change this body. I can't switch what gender I am. It's just something that is me. And by you're saying that when I wear something and it's distracting and inappropriate, that I am distracting and inappropriate and shouldn't be there. Now, no one's going around telling young girls, you are wrong, your bodies are wrong, but through these subliminal messages of how we phrase and perceive how young women dress is extremely, extremely harmful, even in those young years and later on in life. An example of this is a lot of public school dress code problems came to light this year. An example of this is a 15-year-old Canadian girl who was dress coded for her shorts being too short, and she was told it was inappropriate and distracting to other school members, boys. And her response was one of not only confusion but almost anger, because you're telling this girl that her body is wrong and she has to cover it up and change it in order to benefit others. Now, her line was, if I'm a 15-year-old girl, if you're sexualizing me, you are the problem. And what this is saying is that regardless of if they have breasts or not, and if those breasts are out or showing or how tight, you're still dealing with a 15-year-old girl. I mean, I had breasts at the age of 10. Does that make it okay for someone to look at me sexually or to think about me sexually? No, it does not. I'm still a 10-year-old girl. At 18, I have problems thinking about myself sexually. I mean, I can look cute for dances and stuff, but sexuality, that's a lifetime to deal with. And for girls, it starts at age 10, as early as age 10, if not before that. And that's something that's a lot. I mean, think about that. Think about having to explain to that, oh, well, sweetie, you can't wear that because people are going to think about having sex with you and how cute you look and how sexy your breasts are. It's like, how can a 10-year-old even fathom that? I mean, I couldn't. No one explained it to me like that. But that's what I'm dealing with. So, an easy way to correct this problem is to teach young boys that girls' bodies are just like their bodies. They're just bodies. They're just body parts. There's no connotation about someone who has larger breasts or smaller breasts about their sexuality. It's just your body, and we need to start thinking about that and less as this extreme sexual object. That's really what objectifying women is just assuming that because they have body parts that men are attracted to, that we automatically just want sex if they're out. It's not how it works. Um, I mean, this is when I speak from personal experience, is that boys are really cute. Like, boys are really, really cute, guys. You see them in class, and they've got their tight little skinny jeans and their tank tops on. Their muscles are all out. Their hair's cute. And yet somehow, no matter how these boys look, I find the strength and willpower to keep doing my work. I know, I'm amazing. I am just a freak of nature for somehow being able to ignore how cute that boy's butt is and continue working on my math problem. If I can do that, why can't Johnny sitting next to me? That's the real question here. It's because we encourage boys and allow them to think that what they're doing is okay. The phrase boys will be boys? No. No, 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 no. We are not just genders, just like, well, all boys do this, all girls do this. No, we are individual people, and we be taught as such. So, I see Johnny, Johnny sees me, and we can continue doing what we were supposed to be doing, despite the fact that we are hormonal teenagers thinking about sex. We have to learn and have to teach people to look past that. Moving forward into motherhood. Motherhood is such a huge and important decision for any woman. Now, right now at 18, no one's really pushing for me to have a baby. Babies are terrifying and gross, and they scream and awful, and just no. I could not fathom having a child at this point in my life. And you know what? And that's okay, because I'm 18 and I've got time and it's whatever. But let's say I was 35 and I decided, you know what? Children just aren't for me. Just don't want them. I guarantee you someone will come up to me and say, don't you feel like you're missing something? Don't you feel like you have another job to do that, some instinct's gonna kick in, and don't you feel like you need to do this? Well, no, because, well, we can test this right now. Let me think. Okay, hold on. Everyone, calm down. Baby, 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 baby. Oh, man, I don't feel pregnant. It must be that other set of chromosomes that I need in order to create a child. It takes two to make a thing go right, not one. It's not a woman's sole job to reproduce. And you do need a whole other person to do that. And yet men are rarely faced with the amount of criticism that women who choose not to have children are. Men it's just like, oh well, that's what he wants to do. But women are criticized, and guilted into this. I mean, it's something that is small and it's not gonna hurt anybody, but it's just one of those things like why? Why is this happening? It doesn't need to. And then if you do choose to be a mother, and you have to make a decision whether or not to go back to work. Now, this is especially hard because going back to work means splitting your time, and usually women have to take up the brunt of the parenting, whether that be driving your kids, going to the pageants, taking care of when they're sick, and this becomes problematic. My dad manages his sales team, and he came up with a problem one day where he had a woman working for him who was very smart, very qualified. He wanted to promote her. And he was telling me about this, and he's like, well, I just can't promote her. And I was like, what are you saying? This is the 21st century. Like, you have a daughter. You have me as a daughter. Like, how can you just not promote her because she's a woman? He's like, well, it's more complicated than that because she, has 3 kids and a husband who also works. And when one of those kids is sick or needs a ride or has a game, she has to sacrifice her time and use up a sick day or use a vacation day even. And because of this, she was just not going to be at work the number of hours that she needed to be. And as a business person, my brain clicked and I was like, well, she just can't get the job done. But as a woman, I'm thinking, well, why can't the husband just take care of the kids sometime? Why can't they just split the time? Now, I don't know this family. I don't know if they had a discussion about this. It's not my place to judge them or to force anything upon them. All I'm saying is that there are many companies who are pairing working mothers up together in order to, cover their job. So let's say you have Suzanne and Mary's kid gets sick. So then Suzanne will cover for Mary, and the job will get done, and Mary gets to go home and take care of her child. Now, Suzanne's child has a pageant. Now, Mary will cover, and Suzanne gets to go to her child's pageant, and the job still gets done. Now, what this is doing is not only making it easier for women, but also creating it more efficient for working mothers in the workplace. The work gets done just the same, and you're investing in these women. You're not saying, well, we just want you until you get pregnant. We want you forever. We value you as a human being, and until men can carry children, this is what we have to do in order to accommodate you as a woman who chooses to have children, because we value you as a team member in the long term, not just the short term. So companies that invest in their women not only have extremely loyal customers or extremely loyal employees, but are just making the right choice. Why would you make it harder for half your workforce to work? That just doesn't make sense. So we've kind of covered the things that are social mindsets or smaller things, as I'd like to say, because, they're not huge deals. No one's dying because of them. You know, it's not something that's going to impact your life forever. It's just little things, but these little things, just because they're small, does not mean that they're insignificant. Because they're so little, they're easy changes. Teaching and promoting and trying to make something different is a very simple thing to do, especially for this. Onto our bigger thing, which is the rape epidemic that is sweeping the country. Now, you might not think it'll happen to you or close to you, because that's what I thought. And earlier this year, my friend was raped here in Birmingham. Not in an impoverished area, not in other countries, here in Birmingham, in your backyard. She called me after it happened. It was around 2 a.m. I was sleeping, so I called her back the next day. And she told me what happened. Well, it was more like I had to guess at what went on until I knew enough to know exactly what had happened, because she was too ashamed to say it out loud. We were both crying on the phone. I was in school. Told her to tell her mom, go to the hospital, get a rape kit. But before we had that conversation, we had to ask ourselves whether or not we were going to call the police. And the worst part about having to ask ourselves that was knowing we're two strong young women. You know, we're not bouncing around being naive. We know what goes on. We know what happens in the world. We're feminists. We know the protocol we're supposed to follow. We sat in on those lectures at school talking about sexual assault, and yet we still ask ourselves and deeply contemplated whether or not to call the police. And that's when I understood that it's hard for victims to talk about what happened to them. It's hard for them to admit, and it's especially hard to admit to the police. Because she felt dirty. She felt wrong. She thought she had done something to prevent it. The victim was thinking these things. She went and got her rape kit at the hospital. She called the police. They took down a report. But she hadn't decided whether or not she was going to press charges yet. And that was the next hard decision she had to make. Because her rapist was someone that she knew. 3 out of 4 victims know their rapist. Not only was it someone that she just knew, this was a family friend she'd grown up with. He had helped her through her parents' divorce. This is someone that she loved like a brother. And now she held his life in her hands. Because at the time she was thinking, she pressed charges, he would be convicted, and he'd spend time in prison, and that would be on his record for the rest of his life, as it rightfully should be. But she waited to make the decision. She went back to the station to talk to the police, and the officer she talked to said, "No, we're not going to do that." Because he said that they didn't have enough evidence. Because apparently a rape kit is not enough evidence. He said to her, "Well, you didn't put up a fight. You didn't scream. Well, you knew the guy. You got into his car. Didn't you know what would happen next?" She did not press charges because she wasn't allowed to. And she's not the only one this has happened to. This is not a corrupt department. This is not an inner city problem. This is your Birmingham police. These are the people who pass out your parking tickets. The very worst part, though, was that her rapist would call her and would text her, because it didn't even occur to him that what he did was rape. He just thought they were having sex, having a good time in the back of his car. Her pleads of "no, please stop, I don't want this, no," meant absolutely nothing to him, did not even cross his mind. That's why murderers don't scare me. The kind of rapists that knock you over the head and drag you in the alleyway, they don't scare me. I think I can put up a fight. But the rapists who don't even know that they're rapists, that's what really scares me. And this isn't even talking about college campuses yet. We have not even discussed the party scenes that go on at schools and the rapists that take advantage of women without even knowing, without even crossing their mind. That's what really scares me. And now how do we stop someone that doesn't even know they're doing something wrong? You start young. You teach boys to respect women. You teach boys to ask before they have sex, just to confirm. Are you good with this? Are you good with this? Then you can take your clothes off. Teaching boys that a no means a no, that girls aren't just waiting to be told the right thing or given the magic number of drinks. It's just sickening. And you know what? I'm scared to go to college. I mean, I'm excited. It's a new place. It's something I can learn. There's new people to meet. There's cute boys there. But in the back of my mind, I have to think about my friend. And if someone who's that close to you can do that, what is someone who doesn't even know your name gonna do? And it's not something that's uncommon. Why else does my dad have a Time magazine waiting in his office about college rape that I know he's going to talk to me about? Because he's genuinely scared that that will happen. Otherwise, he wouldn't do it. Why would a father want to talk about something that's that terrifying and traumatic and uncomfortable with his daughter if he wasn't really afraid of it? Why did Robin Milton last year have to talk to the seniors before they left about college rape? It's not because she was told to. It's not because her department required to. It's because she was genuinely afraid that that would happen. That's why. Like any problem, it starts with you. It starts with making a conscious and constant effort to change the world we live in, to change the minds of those around us, to make us not just accepting of the world, but bettering the world we live in. This is not about blaming someone or a group of people or anything. It's just about moving forward. We live in a society that's been set in stone. Just like anything, it sometimes needs to be updated. We need to change because we learn, we evolve. We are not just set in one place. Be part of the revolution. Be part of the change. There's nothing to lose and everything to gain. Thank you.